Hi, welcome back to SQL Database Administration Hub. Today, we're diving into SQL Server security fundamentals. Security is one of the most critical responsibilities a DBA has, and understanding the basics is the foundation of everything else. Let's get into it. When it comes to SQL Server security, there are three core concepts. You need to understand logins versus users, authentication modes, and server versus database roles. These three things control who can connect to your SQL Server, what they can do once they're in, and how permissions are organized. Get these wrong and you either lock out legitimate users or leave your data wide open to people who shouldn't have access. In this video, we'll walk through each concept clearly, so you can start managing SQL Server security with confidence. One of the most confusing things for beginners in SQL Server security is the difference between a login and a user. So let's clear this up right away. A login is a server-level object. It's what allows someone to connect to the SQL Server instance. Think of a login as the key that gets you through the front door of the building.
A user is a database-level object.
It's what gives someone access to a specific database inside SQL Server. Think of a user as the key to a specific office inside the building. Every database user must be mapped to a server login. So the flow is, a login connects to the instance, and then that login is mapped to a user inside each database they need to access. To create a login in SSMS, expand security at the server level,
right-click Logins and select New Login.
To create a database user and map it to a login, expand your database,
go to Security, right-click Users, and select New User.
You can also do this with T-SQL. Create login John with password and strong password 1. Create user John for login John. Understanding this two-layer system is essential. Many security mistakes happen because people confuse server-level and database-level access. Let's look at authentication modes. SQL Server supports two authentication modes, and choosing the right one matters for both security and compatibility. Windows Authentication uses your Windows or Active Directory account to authenticate. SQL Server trusts the Windows operating system to verify your identity, so no separate password is required. This is the more secure option and is Microsoft's recommended mode for most environments. It integrates with Active Directory, supports group policies, and provides a single sign-on experience. SQL Server Authentication uses a SQL Server-specific username and password that is stored inside SQL Server itself. This is useful when connecting from non-Windows systems, third-party applications, or cloud services that can't use Windows Authentication. Mixed mode enables both options simultaneously, which is what we set up during installation. This gives you the most flexibility. Windows users can connect using their AD accounts, while applications can connect using SQL logins. To change the authentication mode after installation, right-click your server in SSMS. Select Properties, go to Security, and choose your mode. Note that changing authentication mode requires a SQL Server service restart to take effect. SQL Server uses roles to group permissions together, and there are two types: server roles and database roles. Server roles apply at the instance level. SQL Server comes with several built-in fixed server roles.
The most powerful is sysadmin.
Members of this role have unrestricted access to everything on the server. Other important server roles include security admin, which manages logins and permissions, server admin, which manages server-wide settings,
and DB creator, which allows creating and modifying databases.
As a best practice, limit who has the sysadmin role. Only DBAs who truly need full server access should be in this role. Database roles apply within a specific database. SQL Server also includes built-in fixed database roles. The most commonly used are DB Owner, which has full control of the database, DB Data Reader, which allows reading all tables, and DB Data Writer, which allows inserting, updating, and deleting data. To add a user to a database role, right-click the user in SSMS and go to Properties, or use T-SQL.
Alter role DBD Day Reader add member John.
Roles make permission management much easier. Instead of assigning permissions to each individual user, you assign users to roles and manage permissions at the role level. And that's SQL Server security fundamentals covered. To recap, logins connect to the SQL Server instance, while users connect to individual databases, and every user must be mapped to a login. Windows Authentication is the more secure option, while SQL Authentication offers flexibility for non-Windows environments, and mixed mode gives you both. Server roles control instance-level access, while database roles control access within individual databases. And in both cases, the principle of least privilege should always guide your decisions. Security is a topic we'll keep building on throughout this course, including permissions deep dives and security hardening. Subscribe so you don't miss the next video. And I'll see you there.
Generous Academy.